Hello, everyone. Welcome to another MSP360 case study. I'm here today with Chris Toews. He's from Your Tech Guys. Chris, thanks for joining me today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Glad you're here. Now, before we get started, could you just tell me a little bit about yourself and the work that you do at Your Tech Guys?
Well, I've been in tech since last century. Um, I've been running my own business for the last few years, doing break fix for the most part. Trying to move over to the MSP model. That's a hard hurdle to get over, but I'm trying to get there.
Excellent, excellent there. So, which MSP360 products are you primarily using?
So the main reason I picked MSP360 was for the Microsoft 365 backup. Had a customer that they use extensively SharePoint, Microsoft 365, OneDrive, and they needed access to their files. A few years ago, Microsoft went out on the East Coast, and they were stuck. So went to start look at some Microsoft 365 backup products. The first one I was using Datto, and their backup, they can back up Microsoft 365, but when you go to restore, you can only restore back to Microsoft. So if Microsoft's down, you're out of luck. You can't get to your files. So that was one of the main reasons for switching over to MSP 360.
So that's a great reason and a great scenario you're providing. That's very real world that we don't know exactly. Obviously, Microsoft has protecting their own data to make sure they have it up and running and it's in place. But at the same time, if even they go out, because they're human too, are they? I guess they are. Yeah, they're human too, and they could go down too as well. And so you found MSP360. You said one of the big reasons was the ability to try and restore to other locations or other types of formats. So that way there's a way to egress the data if it needs to. How is the ability to be able to protect your customers' Microsoft 365 data been now improved with MSP360?
It's been good. I set it up and pretty much forget it. It does everything in the background. I just send a bill to the customer every month. For the most part, it's set it and forget it. So that part's been really easy, really good.
Okay, excellent. Now, I assume that if you're using the Microsoft 365 backup, you're also using their MSP360 managed backup as well?
Yes,
Yeah,
been switching
what was the
over.
driver there for using that solution?
I think so. Again, at the time I was using Datto, and a couple trying to set up a new customer with Datto was frustrating. I'd be at a customer site and they'd be like, "Oh, I want backup," and I'd get on the phone with my Datto salesperson and leave a message, and then I'd send them an email, "Hey, I need a new license," and then I'd leave the customer site waiting for another license, and then when I get the license, I'd have to go back to the customer site, install the software, set it all up. MSP360, I go in, hit the little thing, yep, add a license, boom, it gets there, and even if I forget to add a license and install it, they give me, I think it's a 15 or whatever someday trial, and then I just got to remember the next 15 days to add attach the license. But I don't have to talk to anyone. I don't have to email anyone. I just go in and say, "Yep, give me a license," and I get it.
IT folks, we're all renowned for not wanting to talk to anybody if we can avoid it. So I completely understand it. And actually, as a one man shop, in some cases, that's probably a real time saver for you as well because you don't have time to drive back and forth. Because if
Yeah,
you're
no,
doing
I
that, you're not
want to.
billable.
Yeah, I want to be there once. I want to set it up because, once I get the backup rolling, I'm not making a huge profit off of each backup every month. So the less time I spend getting it set up, the better.
Yep, and profitability is the name of the game here. Now, you mentioned at the beginning here that you're sort of transitioning from break fix to being more of an MSP model with recurring revenue streams. Obviously, you just mentioned like the MSP 360, excuse me, the Microsoft 365 backup. You're billing your customer every month, so you're starting to get into that mode. And so, I guess the question is, how have using MSP 360 solutions enabled you to work more like an MSP and less like a break fix guy? I obviously gave two answers there, but how else are they helping enable you to move that direction?
So, I mean, there's two other pieces to it. I use the RMM product. I think there was some software. One of it's actually the same customer that I did the SharePoint backups. They have about 20 users. They're spread across Eastern Seaboard, some in
Mhm.
Massachusetts, some in Florida, and they all work remotely. There's I think 19 or 20 people in the company and only 2 people in the office. Um, so when we had to install some software, it was, normally I'd be getting on the phone to each one of them. Let me get a remote session. Let me get in. Okay, let me install the software. And then, how it is scheduling with people. Now I went in there and says, all right, make this, PowerShell script. Yep, that works. Okay, boom, go. And that's it.
That's great to hear. I'm also assuming that you had some similar successes in shifting over to be more like an MSP with regard to your backups?
So I just got a reminder and I forgot to remove it. Every month I'd have to go check all my backups. So I'd have to log into a bunch of different platforms for different customers. Now I know, backups aren't going to silently fail, which had happened previously with another vendor. And if something goes wrong, I get an email right away. I don't have to go in and worry about the backups working. I know they're working, and if they don't, I get an email.
It makes it a lot easier for you. So that's amazing. I'm glad that you're actually finding some great successes across a number of different aspects of your business with MSP360. So
Yeah.
that's wonderful to hear. This has been another MSP360 case study. We've been talking today with Chris Toews from Your Tech Guys. Thanks for watching.